state this. Next, starting with the department, both parties will have time to make a brief opening statement. This should be a summary of the party's position. Opening statements are not a time for testimony. Then starting with the department, parties will have the opportunity to call witnesses to testify regarding their personal knowledge relevant to the statement of charges. And of course, we're always only looking at the statement of charges. Both parties will have the opportunity to cross-examine each witness presented by the opposing party. Respondent may also testify on his or her own behalf. All right, so at this point in time, is the department ready to make an opening statement?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Okay. Go
Good
right
morning,
ahead.
Good morning, members of the panel. We're here today in the matter of Shirley Moreta, petition number 2025-292. This is one of the Nightingale matters. Ms. Moreta was granted registered nurse license number 178198 in 2020 pursuant to an application that she filed which represented that she attended MedLife Naples between September 2015 and August 2016. During that time, and by her own admission, the respondent was splitting her time between Florida and Pennsylvania and did some of her coursework and clinicals outside of the state of Florida. The program for which she was issued a transcript and degree was not approved for any online instruction or clinical instruction outside of the state of Florida. You will hear today from the respondent in greater detail about her education, including her time at MedLife, to try and clarify when and where she completed the required coursework and clinicals and establish whether she completed the program as it was approved. The department asks that you review the exhibits, consider her testimony today, and make a determination as to whether her testimony provides sufficient explanation consistent with the evidence of how she completed a full-time nursing program in person while working full-time and splitting her time between two states. If you find that the evidence and testimony do not show that she properly completed the program as it was approved, the department respectfully requests that this panel revoke respondent's license as she has not met the statutory requirements for licensure. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Attorney Brown, would you like to make your opening statement at this time?
Yes, thank you. It's the position of the respondent that through a series of errors, she was misclassified as someone that had essentially participated online for her courses. As counsel for the department has indicated, and we don't disagree, that the state of Florida at the time of issuing the charter for the schools in question mandated that it needed to be in-person training and that out-of-state training was not permitted. Unfortunately for my client and others, a serious fraud had been committed in Florida by various individuals, some of which ended up in federal prison for fraud committed on these individuals who were seeking careers in nursing. The department became aware of it, and one of the reasons they became aware of it, there was a list of individuals that had been attested to as taking their education courses online as opposed to in person. My client was listed, our position is erroneously, as one of those individuals. As her testimony hopefully will show, during the course, first of all, she lived in Florida, and she then had an interest in family in Pennsylvania and did split time between the two, and she'll testify as to that, whether or not that is relevant or not in this case. But we will show that, ironically, she did attempt initially, because she was informed she could take some classes online out of state in New York. And ironically and fortuitously, she didn't know it at the time, she got into a dispute with the people in New York and was compelled to go back to Florida to finish up her midlife education, specifically mostly for clinical work that needed to be done to meet the requirements of MedLife. It pointed out at this time, and we're talking about 2015, 2016, MedLife was fully authorized to issue associate degrees in nursing. Action was taken at a later date because a certain percentage of the students were having difficulty with NASDAQ and was failing that, and it fell below a certain number, is my understanding. Subsequently, the Department of Public Health in Florida took action against the school, but that was after my client had graduated, and her graduation was delayed 3 months. Everybody else was going to graduate in May, late May or early June of 2016. The school did not allow her to graduate because they said that she did not meet all of the requirements that MedLife mandated. And so she was compelled to continue her education for an additional 3 months. And her testimony will be on that subject. And in conclusion, I would just point out that this woman who has subsequently gone on to get her Bachelor of Science in Nursing and has taken some courses to get her master's is a dedicated individual, and her testimony will show that serving the public as a nurse, her chosen profession. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Attorney Brown. Okay, Attorney Kataya, at this point in time, will you call your first witness?
Yes, the department calls Shirley Moreta as its witness.
And Attorney Baum, will you swear the witness in, please?
Good morning. Could you please raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear, or solemnly and sincerely affirm, as the case may be, that the evidence you give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God, or under pains and penalties of perjury?
I do.
Thank you.
Good morning, Ms. Moreta. I'm
Good morning.
going to start by asking some questions about your background, starting with what year did you graduate from high school?
I did not graduate high school. I left in my as a senior, and I took my GED in 99.
Okay. So then after 1999, you completed additional education, correct? Well, did you go straight into additional education, or were you working first?
Both.
Okay, well, what were you doing for work immediately after getting your GED in 1999?
1999, I was working. I was a store manager at the racetrack.
Okay, and how long were you doing that?
Till 2001.
And in that
No.
period,
I'm not sure.
but for a couple of years, you think?
In 1999, I was a store manager at racetrack, and I was doing home health aid. I was in home health aid also.
Where were you doing that?
Where? In
What
Florida.
state?
Florida.
Thank you. All right. How long did you work as a home health aide?
Home health aide, I did 97 till 2000, I would say. Then I become a CNA. I think I want to say at the end of 99, I become a CNA, or at the beginning of 2000, I become a CNA.
And that was also in the state of Florida?
Correct.
And how long did you work as a CNA?
Roughly 10 years, if not more.
Right, and in that approximately 10-year period between 2000 and 2010, did you go to school during that time?
Yes.
Which ones?
I went to Broward Community College. I went to HAC, which is Harrisburg Community College in Pennsylvania. I took my LPN, and you say 2000, 2010, right? I'm sorry.
Well, we'll narrow it down for you a little bit. We'll try and go in chronological order. What was the first one you attended?
Broward Community College.
Okay. What kind of coursework did you take at Broward Community College?
Prerequisites, English, math, algebra. I did anatomy 1, I believe there, and I did chemistry.
Did you complete a degree program there?
No,
So after Broward, you went to Hack, I believe you said?
yes.
What coursework were you doing at Hack?
I had to start almost all over again because most of my prerequisite that I was taking was my prep one, so they were not transferable. So I had to do them all over again. And they did give me credit, I believe, for my chemistry and my AMP. And I did those. And at that time, I was a little bit a slacker. So I had some C's and it was difficult to get into clinical. So that's when I went into my LPN.
Did you complete a degree program at Hack?
No,
Okay.
I went to do my LPN.
All right. Where did you do your LPN education?
Hanover, practical nursing.
And when was that?
'09, no, '08 to '09, December '09, I believe I finished.
Okay. And you did complete that program?
Yes,
And when did you first become licensed as an LPN or equivalent?
I believe in March 2010.
Did you attend any other schools between March 2010 and 2015?
Yes, I did. I redo my prerequisite. I redo my AMP, both AMP 1 and 2 at Bucks Community College. And then that's when I went to MedLife because MedLife wanted me to, if I had done it with MedLife, it would have cost more money and longer time. So I did them at Bucks to knock them out over the summer.
Okay. Was that the summer of 2015?
Yes. Yes.
And so you transferred a good number of credits to MedLife, correct?
Yes, but they didn't take all the credits.
Did you receive any course waivers?
Yes, for my prerequisite, my chemistry, my micro, my AMP that I'd just finished doing. I don't know if I did get it for I know I got a total of 30 altogether.
Give me one moment. I'm going to pull up Department Exhibit 3. Let me know when you're able to see that.
Yes.
So just for the sake of clarity, it appears that you did get transfer credits for 7 courses and course waivers for an additional 3. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Okay. How did you receive the course waivers? Is that an exam, an assessment?
Because there was an exam at the beginning, like the entry exam, which I don't know if that's how I got it waived, or if it's because like see if I can I zoom in? I'm sorry. Hello?
Let me try and get that a little bit closer.
Oh, okay, I thought I did something. I'm sorry. Hello?
Can you hear?
I can hear, but I cannot see nothing. Is that what I'm not supposed to see?
No, you should still be able to see my screen. Let me try stopping and I'll start it again.
Something's off.
I can see your screen, attorney.
Okay.
So can I.
I can
Yeah.
see it also. This is Gina speaking.
Okay, Ms. Moreta, are you still not able to see it?
Can you hear? I think I did something. I can hear you, but it's telling me to join the team, which doesn't make sense.
Okay, maybe
Okay,
we
okay,
need
I
to.
can see you. I'm good. Is it?
Okay.
Wait.
Can you
Oh,
see the screen I'm sharing?
Jesus.
Can you see the
Oh.
transcript, Ms. Moreta?
No, I cannot.
Can you see us? Can you see each person in this hearing?
Oh, why did you guys go? Wait.
If we need to pause the record for a moment to handle this technical issue.
Mhm.
While we're waiting, Attorney Kataya, I see that you're sharing some of these educational records that display grades, and you didn't request these were to be entered under seal. Was there a reason for that?
Yes, so there's no protected information that has not been redacted
Okay,
in these.
I got it. I'm here. Okay.
Thank you. If it is your position that these should be submitted under seal, that this is protected information, then I have no issue with them being marked as under seal.
Well, I was just, I didn't know if you had any updated information as to if educational records were excluded from those protections or
Yeah,
included in some way.
I've had other cases where educational records were put under seal because they were submitted without proper redactions. So I've had them marked under seal when they were submitted with unredacted social security numbers, for example. In this particular one, the information that's on it, unless her grades are protected information, I believe that everything that's available and listed is considered part of our public record.
Thank you. Attorney Brown, do you have a position on this?
Yes, I don't see any legal justification for doing it under seal.
Okay, thank you. Then we could continue. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Moreta, are you able to see what I'm sharing now? The transcript?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Give me one moment. I'm going to scroll back up and see what question we were on. Yeah, so I was asking you about how you received the course waiver and you were describing an exam, I believe. Can you
I know
tell
there
me a bit
was
more about
the
that?
I know there was the SC exam to at the beginning. I do not know. And based on my transcript that I give them, I don't know. But those are things looks like things I already took in the past.
Okay. So do you have any sorry, let me
Fundamental
withdraw
nursing.
that
Yeah.
one. So how long were you working as an LPN?
I work as an LPN from 2010 till 2020.
And was all of that in Florida?
Both Florida and PA.
When did you become licensed in PA?
For LPN,
Yes.
2010.
So then jumping forward to 2015, and you were deciding to continue your education, how did you hear about MedLife Naples?
Really don't remember. I really don't. I don't know if it was from a coworker or if it was from an event that because at that time I also did catering, so I don't know. I don't remember.
Okay. What made you decide that you wanted to attend MedLife Naples?
Well, at that time I was in Fort Myers and well, not Fort Myers, Lehigh Acres, and everything was Naples is right there, and he was convenient. I figure at that time I was told it was a 9 months program. They wanted to see my transcript. They saw my transcript. Based on my transcript, they said it would have taken me. I don't remember exactly how long if I did not redo the AMP, but otherwise, if I had everything, including update AMP 1 and 2, he would have been a 9 months program. So I'm like, 9 months, why not? So I studied it there.
And while you were, well, when you started the program in September of 2015, were you working?
At that time, I I had a job in PA and I was working in Florida. So I had a PRN job because I had a home in both states. I was going back and forth. I've been doing that since 2010, 2009. So I had my little gig. I was doing catering and I had a pool job in Pennsylvania.
I'm sorry, what was a pool job?
A PRN job.
A PRN job. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So about how many hours a week when you started the program were you doing that PRN job?
When I first started that PRN job, I literally did what was mandated of me for the month, for the 6 weeks, which was 1 weekend a month. And mostly I was I rely on my catering. So yeah, I was doing just my 1 weekend. I would come up on Wednesday night and spend and leave late Sunday night. And for that 1 weekend a month until I decided that I was gonna, at first I was gonna quit the program because it was not feasible with my family situation at that time.
And your catering job, where did you operate that?
At home. I'm at home. When I had a home in Florida, I did it at home. And when we did not, later on, when I went back to Florida for the full, like almost 4 or 5 months, it was me and my sister-in-law.
Okay, so that was the catering entirely in Florida, or was some of it in Pennsylvania?
Somebody's having a party, they want to cater. If it's in Pennsylvania, I go there. If it's I go there, I come up and as long as schedule and my schedule can afford it, I can do it. Sometimes I pass it on to somebody else.
Okay. And on
Sometime in
average,
Connecticut.
how many hours a week were you spending on this catering job?
You really cannot tell how many hours. It's like, as long as you have everything prepped, the day of the catering is when you can say, I spent 8 hours, but truly you did not spend 8 hours because you prepped throughout the week for that. So, and catering is like, it's when it is. Sometimes you may have 2 or 3 events within a week, and sometimes you don't have nothing for weeks and months in.
Okay, what was average for you in terms of how many jobs a week? Was it more often than not that you didn't have a job?
More often than not, yes.
Okay. Would you call it a part-time job or a full-time job?
Oh, definitely part-time, if any, yes. Could
In
not be
addition to the
full-time.
actual catering work, did you do any work with marketing or networking?
I'm sorry, I don't understand the question. When you say marketing, like
So,
advertisement?
yes. So when you're running your own business, typically you have to spend some time getting the word out about that business. Did you spend time doing that?
No, you was a word for mouth. You was most likely like that person from church wants to do something. They say, "Hey, Shirley, I know you used to do this. Can you do it?" Family members, friends. It was not something that I did as a business. I went to school for culinary because that's what my mom did. I mean, she had a culinary school and she had a bakery, so that's what's expected. That was expected of me, but it's not something that I like enough to do. And I did it for extra income in the past. But it's not something that I never wanted to do as a full-time job or anything else because growing up around it took the love away.
So sticking with just the first few months of your time at MedLife, you were working these 2 jobs and you were attending school full-time, correct?
Yes, Monday to Thursday.
And about how many times a month were you traveling back and forth between Pennsylvania and Florida within those first few months?
Sometime I do not go to Pennsylvania. I believe I did not, maybe from September and to October, maybe I came up to Pennsylvania, I want to say 3 times.
Okay. And then something changed in terms of your situation and your schoolwork change. Is that accurate?
Something changed, my schoolwork changed. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So
Can you rephrase?
in, give me one moment here. I'm going to refer back to what was submitted as Respondents Exhibit A, which should be shared on your screen now. And I'm looking
Mhm.
specifically at this paragraph here that I have just highlighted, which begins
Okay.
several months into
Yes.
the program.
That's when I was about within by I want to say by October, November, I did express my need to quit because I could not. I wanted to be in Pennsylvania more, and that's when they told me about that I can do it outside. So when I went up to Pennsylvania in December, that's when I studied it there.
So they offered you hybrid courses essentially.
Correct. Yes.
Right. And did they set you up with clinicals up there? Do you remember which courses and clinicals it was that you took while out of state? And I can pull back up the Exhibit
Alright.
3, which has the transcript, so you have the full class list in front of you. But if you recall, can you tell me which of these you took initially out of state?
If I had the teacher's name, I would be able to say better, but I don't. I don't remember, but I
Courses
can
you
tell
took.
you for the clinical for the clinical side that they had where I went. Classes, I know I took. Oh, it's easy. Did they show you the one that I did twice? I'm sorry if my face is all over the. No, they do not. I want to say adult nursing was one of them because I remember having 2 grade on that one, and they give me the lowest, which is the only one I have a C on. So I want to say adult nursing might be that one of them.
Okay. So at very least, we're able to identify that one. Do you believe there were more?
Yes, 100%. There was at least 2 more classes, 1 more classes in that, or 2, whichever. I don't remember.
All right. And were those 1 or 2 classes both ones with associated clinicals?
Yes.
Was it both of them or one of them?
I'm sorry, when you say both of them, was the clinical?
You said that you thought you'd taken 1 or 2 more courses out of state.
Correct.
Right. Were all of the courses that you took out of state, were they all one of these ones down here at the bottom where they have a clinical associated with it? Or were some of them classwork and exams only?
Sorry, I get the question. So are you saying that if those classes had clinicals with them?
Yes, I'm trying to figure out at least try and narrow down which of these courses that you took.
So that's the reason I'm thinking the adult nursing, because we did clinicals and a nursing home up there, and we also did clinical and a hospital there. So I'm saying I know you had to be a part of med-surg, the 2 classes or 3.
Okay.
Why don't I have that? It's annoying. Sorry, talking to myself.
That's all right. As far as you're aware, were you given any credit for work that work experience that you got as an LPN for any of
No.
your transfer credits or course waivers? Okay. So you switched to the hybrid program in approximately December of 2015. How long were you in that hybrid program?
December, early March.
And what was your experience during that time?
Mhm. It was crazy. My ADHD was in high gear because it was very unorganized. Me and the school administration, not even not the teachers, but it was mostly the management was always like, I was always asking questions, why wasn't we doing this? Sometime you'll go to a site, you had to wait till 8 o'clock to hit the floor, just very unorganized. So I was always saying something, and I think I was comparing the New Jersey clinicals comparing to the one that we were doing in Florida. And I called the Florida Nursing Board because that's where they were headquarters at a couple times on them. And I don't think they liked that too much until I forgot his name, told me instead of comparing, it's best for you to go back there or quit the school.
Did you consider transferring to a local nursing school at that point?
At that point, I did, but I would be losing all my credit that I had already done in Florida since I did not. Yeah, I don't know where wait, was it Jersey College? I think I look into Jersey College and they were not going to give me any credit except what I had already got from the local community college. So I was like, and at that time to me, I only had 2 months left, 3 months left, 2 months or 3 months. So I
Did
said,
they,
might as well.
I
Go ahead.
apologize, I did not mean to cut you off there. I'm sorry, if you wanted to finish your statement, I
No,
did not mean to cut you off.
to me it was more rational to tough it out and finish the couple months, although it was more than a couple months left. By the time when I went back to Florida, I believe it was Miss Heather or Miss Tammy or both extended it. So from May, the end of May into June, I was supposed to take my exit. They told me I will not be able to take it because I have extra classes to do now. Technically, it's like repeating everything I just did up north, which it is what it is. So I end up doing. So that's why I end up taking my exit, I believe the beginning of August, if it's not mid-August.
I want to back up a little bit to Jersey College. You looked into it and they said they wouldn't accept any transfer credits from MedLife.
They said they will not they said they will not take credit because I didn't finish it, or whatever credit that they wanted to give to me was like, technically I would have to do all their programs. It's not that I was going to be able to transfer and pick it up wherever I finish. I would have to do extra time. So at that time, I'm looking at finishing midlife within 2 months, and Jersey College was offering me like another 9 months or 7 months because they're saying if they take everybody at the end of a program, they ain't making their money. So technically, they wanted me to go, I think, I forgot how their school is, but not the first or second. I think they wanted me to do the third semester. I think they have 5 semesters. They wanted me to start on the third semester, which will put me back into 7 or whatever months.
So it was your understanding that they did not want you to transfer credits from MedLife for financial reasons on their end.
Correct.
All right. Did that strike you as odd, given the number of credits you were able to transfer into MedLife?
Well, I went to MedLife with a lot of credit. They told me they could not take no more than 30 credits. So they minimized my credits also.
Okay. So there were other courses here that you believe you should have received credit for and that you had to
Yeah.
retake at MedLife, other than the
I
ones that
didn't-
we're going to get into.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Which ones?
Like my AMP credit, MedLife down there to how many credit? 4 credit or 3 credit? My AMP credit was at the college. It's a full credit classes. So and what they told me when I questioned the way they were transferring my credit, they said they had to whatever system that they were using. So a class can be 5 credit in one school, but 4 credit in another school. I didn't get it, but
Okay, so just to make sure I'm clear, the dispute is the number of credits and not the course itself?
no. Yeah, number of credits.
Okay, thank you for clearing that up. All right, so during that time that you were in the hybrid program, were you spending most of your time in Pennsylvania?
And I went to Florida. Went to Florida 3 times. 3 times, maybe. I'm not sure.
Did you drive or did you fly when you were going between Florida and Pennsylvania? Or
Spirit
take the
Airlines was
train?
my favorite. I flew. I think I
Right,
drove
and
a couple times, but that's when I would have more than one person with me, and then we'll just do the either going up or going down. Especially if I wanted to bring something up to Pennsylvania, I would drive up so I can bring more things and stuff like that.
And on average, how much time would you spend in Florida when you were going down during specifically this period from December to March when you were primarily in Pennsylvania?
When I was primary in Pennsylvania, I'll go there for a week, and that was one of my argument with them because they started to make me come down. I would come down on a Wednesday. I'll do clinical Thursday, Friday, and everybody else that I know was in the program up there will not have to come down until they only come down for 5 days. They were making me come down and again, I think it's because of the person that I was asking a lot of questions. The first time I went down, within the first day, I was just in a room doing in the lab, I would say. And I'm like, okay, I came down for clinical. So finally the next day they were like, they pair me with a couple local places, then I go. But they didn't do that for everybody. It's like if you speak up to shut you up. I don't know if I can say that. It's like it was I don't know. I don't know what to say. I was pulling teeth to get my education, but I did.
Yeah, it sounds like you had a lot of frustrations and concerns. So when you had these concerns, who was your first point of contact at MedLife?
Um, her name was Vivian. There was Vivian. There was Tammy. And then when I came up here, it was, oh my God, what's her name? Miss. Hold on. If I look in my email, I think I had an email where I was complaining.
All right, just a moment before you do that,
Sorry.
that's all right. Attorney Brown, if she's going to be referring to something to refresh her memory, I would like to be able to see it. I don't know if you've had an
Okay.
opportunity to review any emails.
No, I haven't, and I would prefer that she only testify to what she knows now and not try to take outside sources as.
Okay,
uh,
so I appreciate
testimony.
your, all right, I
Miss
appreciate your
Blair.
attempt to give
Miss
us the
Blair.
information, Ms. Moreta, but just if you can just tell us what you remember. If you don't recall, you can tell us that you don't recall, and I will accept that.
Miss Blair. Her name was Miss Blair. I
Okay.
remember.
All right, so then there was a Vivian, a Tammy, and a Ms. Blair.
Yes.
Okay.
I think
And
Vivian last name was Zeyella. It was a Spanish last name.
So what was your first concern that you needed to reach out to any of these people?
My first concern was I was under the impression when I come down that I was going to be going to a facility just like we were doing it before. And this time when I came around, I felt like, first of all, I was just in Florida and I had to come down within a week or two because that's when that group was coming down. And I was not, at first, Florida will send you to a nursing home, to a psych. We did peds, and I was in the classroom. I was doing, I complained, and they were like, the next day, we were going to do different thing, which a lot of other people in the group was divided into three. I was by myself with the Florida team, and I went to, where did I went? I think I went to Naples Medical Center for that week. But coming back and hearing other people online chatting, that was not the case for everybody.
So you were concerned that you were receiving an education different than the others in your program?
No, I was concerned that I was not getting enough, so I was speaking up for myself.
And did they address that concern?
Yes, they addressed it with a lot of frustration.
Was there any sort of resolution?
The resolution was, if you're that unhappy with it, go back to Florida. Stop comparing the two programs, although it was always told it was the same program.
And you mentioned earlier that you reached out to the Florida Board of Nursing. Was that while you were still in Pennsylvania, or was that after you moved back or went back to Florida to complete the program?
Both. At first I reached out when I was up here, and then when I moved back to Florida, when they extended, when in June they told me I'm not going to sit for my exit, I had to do 8 more weeks of clinicals, and I had to pay extra. I did reach out to the Board of Nursing, and they sent me to the private educational department, which the only answer I always got is, as a private institute, they can do as they please. So I toughed it out and did it.
So, starting with the first time that you reached out to them when you were still in Pennsylvania,
Mhm.
did you let them know that you were being instructed to complete your clinicals out of state?
I knew that was an issue, but I told them that I went at that time. It was for the it was for the hospital system. The clinicals that we had, and that was the first time that in the hospital that I was going to be following another nurse, an RN. So I wanted to make sure if that was the proper way. And I was told that as long as the person have more than 2 years experience and with a higher degree than me, yes, I could follow that person as a preceptor. So at that one time I called because I wanted clarification if that was okay, because technically I was going to follow the charge nurse for that floor. And in the past, we always had a teacher in the building with us. And I was told that, yes, that was one of the things. As long as the person have a higher degree, and I believe that person specifically had her master's. So they said that was fine.
All right, so that concern wasn't so much about the location as the procedures at the location.
Correct.
And at what point did you decide? I think we already have this, but just to make sure my timeline is clear, what time did you decide to return to Florida to complete the program?
Much.
March of 2016? Right. And at that point, which of the courses at MedLife had you already completed?
I cannot tell you. I cannot remember which one.
Well, I believe you said you thought you had about 2 months left. Do you know which courses you still believed you needed to complete at that time?
Um, can I look at this transcript again?
Yes. Yes, absolutely. I'll
Please.
pull up Department's Exhibit 3 again. And let me know if you can see it, or if you need me to scroll in further.
Leadership. I think leadership was one of the last one. And pediatric, because and up here, up in Jersey, we did the class of pediatric, but we did not do the clinical.
Okay.
In Florida, you do the class and you do go to the children outpatient hospital.
All right. So then those were two, or you did the class for pediatric, but not the clinical for pediatric in New Jersey. Is that what you just?
Correct. Correct.
Okay. So then when you return back and you were told that you need to repeat some of the classes, do you recall which classes you were told you need to repeat?
They didn't say repeat. They just told me that they just told me that I needed more hours. They didn't say repeat, but those are the things that technically to me I was repeating because those are the things that I already did. But because they add up, they pair it with the outpatient children hospital, I guess it was justified.
Okay, so when they told you you needed additional clinicals to meet it, it was not that they had you redo what you did in New Jersey, it was they had you do additional clinical work in addition to what you did in New Jersey
And classwork.
and additional classwork?
Mm-hmm. And technically, I can tell you that for peds, the first time I had a B and the second time I had an A, technically it was the same material that I did up here and that it was a repeat, but they didn't want to say it was a repeat. I said technically I'm repeating something I already did. They said, and that's when they're saying that it was not part of their curriculum that I did it. Although I did it with them, I had to redo it because I didn't do it with I did not go to a clinic with kids or a hospital with kids up here.
Okay, so just to make sure I'm clear, you did or you did not have to redo PEDS, the class?
If you ask me, yes, I did redo it. If you ask MedLife, they'll tell you, no, it was just an addition, but it was technically the same material.
Okay. But you recall them issuing 2 separate grades for each time you did the material?
Yes, because I definitely had an A in PEDS, and then the next time around I had an A. I had a B first and I had an A the second time. It was the same material. The only thing that was not the same is every time you go to clinical, you have to do a case study. Obviously, different case. I had to do a different case study. That was the only difference.
Okay. And other than PEDS, do you remember any of the other courses that you were required to essentially retake or to complete additional work for?
But I think part of my extra time was mostly my clinicals that I did more. Because then I was doing clinicals Monday to Thursday. It depends where they send you. If they had a 12-hour shift, I'll do 3 days. If they had a 8-hour shift, I'll do the 4 days for that week.
Okay. Do you know about how many clinical hours you completed in Florida? If you could give me a rough estimate, do you think it was more or less than 500 hours?
With me, let's see. 32. Yes, I'll say it was 5, close to, or a little bit over, if anything. Or a little bit under. I'm not sure to tell you, but there was a week we did a minimum of either 40 hours, 32 hours. Either way, we did 32 hours.
Okay. And during this period of time, after you came back from Pennsylvania, were you working while also attending school?
No, I did not work for 3 months.
Okay. And where were you staying during those 3 months?
Those 3 months, I stayed in Fort Myers at my in-laws. And then there was one clinical site that they sent me all the way down to Broward. And then I stayed with my sister-in-law. And I think I stay with my sister. I stay in a hotel once in West Palm Beach. I don't remember which one was that. What was it for? But yes, I remember that. I stay in a hotel for a week because I was not going to keep driving to Lee County back and forth because I don't know if you know Florida. Lee County is right here. West Palm Beach is like a big U, and I stay at a hotel.
Okay. And at some point you contacted the Board of Nursing again? I believe you had mentioned
Yes.
you contacted them at least twice.
Yes,
What did you contact them about the second time?
because they wanted to extend my clinical hours.
And did you discuss with the Board of Nursing representative at all that you were doing your clinical hours out of state?
I believe so. What I said was, I went I told them exactly what was going on. I was told that it was okay. They are the one that actually encouraged me to stay in school. I went up north and I did not like it. So I mean, I decided to technically, I feel like if I did not go back to Florida, I would have get kicked out and lose all my hours and all my money. So that's one of the reason I did it. And now they want to add more hours into it. And then I feel like the board of send me to the Board of Education. It was nobody was helping. I literally did everything, every complaint that I got, and every time I complained, I let them know I called that, I called this, I called that.
Did you ever contact them in writing?
I called. I don't know. Probably did send an email or two. I'll just have to look. I don't, but I just remember me being on hold for a while and talking to different people. And I believe Sherry Sutton, that I see one of her disposition, is one of the people that I spoke to and left messages.
Do you recall any specific conversation you had with Sherry Sutton?
I wanted to make sure that it was a accredited school. I wanted to make sure that, it was a legitimate school. And all this was confirmed.
When did that conversation happen?
I think at the end I spoke to her, but at the beginning he was a gentleman I spoke to. I think it's from the same office as her. I believe he was a gentleman. I believe, don't quote me on it, but I know I spoke to two different people from that. I think it's called private education, something department.
Okay, so you asked and confirmed that the program was accredited, though.
Mhm.
All right. Bear with me, I'm just double checking if I had any other questions in this line. So just to confirm, to the best of your knowledge, you were required to retake 2 courses when you returned to Florida, or were there more?
Classroom wise, I believe it was classroom wise, it was those two courses that I remember vividly, and a lot of they had the I believe it was Canvas system that you had to do a lot of case study online. So you'll go to the class and for a day, that's all you do, case study back and forth, and they grade you on it.
Did you do any simulated training through MedLife?
What do you mean by that? Like clinical, like labs?
It was my understanding that MedLife had a simulation lab that they did some training with. I don't know if you ever went to their simulation lab or not, so I'm just asking.
The only lab that I know of is just a regular lab, like a lab saying that, say you have scenarios, you had a code, what you do, the person have a permacaf, how to take care of it, things like that. To me, it was just a regular lab. I don't know if that's a stimulation, but that's you have the mannequin and you have different things for trach patients, stuff like that.
So You completed this program in August of 2016. What did you do next?
I went to work. I lost my house. I went into foreclosure. I had to work. So I went to work. I'm saying this now, I'm getting emotional. I went to work and then they told me that I had to take my NCLEX within 6 months, otherwise I have to go for a review. So I know I did not review or anything. I went to take my NCLEX. I know I did not pass it, and I literally went to work.
And so at that time, you were working as an LPN?
I was working as an LPN. I went back to Pennsylvania, getting my house in order again and work.
And eventually you did take the NCLEX, correct?
Mhm.
Right. And did you have to take it more than once?
Yes,
How many times did you take the NCLEX?
I took the NCLEX 3 times.
And when did you pass?
2020? 2020
What state did you take the NCLEX in 2020?
in Florida.
And I believe that's where you received your first registered nurse license, is that correct?
Correct.
All right. And are you licensed in any states other than Florida and Connecticut?
Pennsylvania.
Do you hold any licenses other than a registered nurse license?
No.
Have you
Well,
had
my
any,
LPN.
you still hold an LPN?
No, he's expired, but I don't know if you meant for me to say that. No.
No, that's all right. I appreciate the clarification. Have you been subject to discipline in any of the other jurisdictions where you hold nursing licenses?
No.
Thank you. I have no further questions for this witness.
Okay, Attorney Brown, if you would like to cross-examine at this point.
Yes, I didn't know if the board members wanted to take a break or have me move on.
Okay, board members, do you want to take a break? If you could just let me
I'm
know.
good with moving forward. Yep.
Okay,
Okay,
so,
I'm good.
okay, go right ahead, Attorney Brown, when you're
I
ready.
just didn't want to test their patience, that's all.
Okay, thank you, appreciate it.
Okay, still good morning, so good morning. Okay, now I want you to keep your voice up so we can hear you. Sometimes you taper off and it's not helpful. Okay.
Sorry, I move a lot.
Okay. Now, as I understand it, let's just start with finishing off. You subsequently got an education after your RN, is that right?
Yes.
I can't hear you.
Yes.
Okay.
Can you hear
And
me?
what was that?
I did my bachelor in science.
Okay, so you got your bachelor in science and nursing. Is that a
Yeah.
BSN?
I did that, the BSN, and then I started to do my master's. I switched from acute care NP to family practice.
Okay. So the bottom line is you really want to be a nurse.
Yes, that's my love.
Now, I'm not going to repeat a lot of what counsel stated, but I am interested in, of course, MedLife. And as I understand it, you started out MedLife in Florida. You were living in Florida, and you also have family members in Pennsylvania. So you're going back and forth. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. And do you understand the concern that this committee has?
Yes.
Okay. And do you understand that the state of Florida, including the Department of Public Health and whoever else has jurisdiction over nurses in Florida, gave a charter to MedLife? You understand that? An
Yes.
authorization to teach students in nursing. Yes? Okay.
Yes,
And you understand that they didn't give a charter, an authorization for the school to have classes outside of Florida. You
I didn't know
understand that?
that. Now
No, I
I
know you
do,
didn't know it
but
at the time.
yeah. As a matter of
But-
fact, when I went back and they wanted me to do extra time, I thought that lady hated me. They just wanted me to quit. I didn't realize that is because they were correcting something that was not supposed to be done in the first place.
And you said that lady, you mean that lady from
Miss Tammy,
MedLife?
Miss Tammy or Miss Heather, she was the director at that time to the one to MedLife Naples, and
Okay.
Dr. Pierre.
Okay. So that, and you understand that that under Connecticut law, I won't go into great detail, but assume I'm correct, that the only credit that you could get for nursing when you're going after your RN are classes that were taken in Florida, not classes taken some other place, New York, New Jersey, wherever, Pennsylvania. You understand that?
Understand that now? Yes.
Okay. And one of the things that I believe this board has to determine from a factual point of view is whether or not you've took sufficient classes in Florida to justify MedLife giving you an associate degree in nursing. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay. And is it your position that you did so? That based upon, maybe you didn't understand it at the time, but when you came back to Florida, you still had to take classes, apparently in April and May, and then they made you take more classes in June and July.
In July.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So it wasn't just June and July, it was also from March, April, and May. Is that correct?
Correct.
And everybody else that you had been with apparently were permitted to take an exit exam. Is that what you call it?
Yes.
Is that just a general test on what you learned while in school?
Well, the exit exam is technically, yes, what you said is, and if you pass it, then they will issue you your ATT, or if you don't pass it, technically you failed the program and you have to repeat, or I don't know exactly, but technically you failed the program if you cannot pass your exit exam.
Okay. And in addition to the classes, to get your RN associate degree, you also had to do a certain amount of clinicals. Is that correct?
Yes.
And do you understand that in doing these clinicals, it has to be under the supervision of MedLife in Florida? Do you understand that?
Yes.
And on, because I'm a little confused, so that's why I'm
Okay.
asking these questions, okay?
That's okay.
So under Department's Exhibit 3, which is the transcript, it was
Okay.
just up on the screen a little while ago. You were having trouble
Yes.
seeing it at one point. You're familiar with that transcript now, correct?
Yes.
Because you're the person, that has read it and is familiar with it, correct?
Yes.
Okay. The question is whether or not the clinicals that you had to take in Florida, okay, are represented in this transcript.
Okay.
Not okay. I want to know whether or not.
Oh, well, yeah, I do not know how the transcripts, I know you do the class and it goes into your transcript. I do not know how your clinicals go into your transcripts, but I can tell you that I did the clinical for psych, I did clinical for peds, I did clinical orthopedic, I did OB, I did a lot of med surge. I did, I mean, I was not working full time. I was doing my clinical full time.
Okay. And the clinicals are represented under clinical/lab at the bottom of Exhibit 3. And
Yes,
do you,
yes,
and are you testifying under oath that these clinicals were done in Florida?
yes.
Okay. Is there any doubt in your mind about that?
No, because up in Jersey, I did a nursing home and I did a hospital. I went back to Florida. They sent me back to 2 nursing home in Lee County, and I did Naples Medical Center multiple times, more hours than, like I said, that class ended up finishing in June, and I was still doing clinicals. For what reason, I do not know. I had to pay separate for extra clinicals. I had to go all the way down to Broward to do another nursing home. I think I did maybe 64 hours in that one particular nursing home. So I literally repeat almost everything I did and when I was up north. And I feel like it was them penalizing me for my mouth.
All right. Well,
But-
okay. Now, so I understand it, so it's your testimony that, and it's your position, am I correct? That, and the reason you're challenging this charges against you is because of what reason?
I did the work. I did not pay nobody a lump sum money and just take an ATT and go. I did every single thing. And like I said, I felt like I did more hours of clinical that I needed just because I studied with them. I went up north. And then when I came back down, I feel like I literally feel like she hated me. And so she wanted me to just get tired and quit. And since I was not quitting, she added up more things for me to do. Not realizing that is because themselves knew that he was never supposed to be a hybrid. So the time that I did hybrid, they make it up for. But a 9 months program ended up being a year program.
Okay, now, a couple of times you apparently notified or contacted the Florida Board of Nursing, is that correct? Is that yes?
Yes.
Okay, and did you do that because you felt that you were concerned as to whether or not the school was acting in a legitimate fashion? Was that?
Yes. I complained to Ms. Blair. I called multiple times and complained to Dr. Pierre, which was the person that present himself as the president CEO of MedLife Naples. They keep differentiating themselves to Naples, not West Palm Beach or Fort Lauderdale. He keeps saying that it is not MedLife Naples. I will call him, and technically I do not know how I was not getting nothing done, but for some reason I called the nursing board. I don't know if they did anything, but I went back to them and said, hey, I called the nursing board. I spoke to this person and I complained about you guys, and things are done all of a sudden. So
Was it important to you that you received a legitimate education on how to be a nurse?
yes.
Can you
Yes.
explain why?
I feel like I grew up in a Haitian family. Haitian family does not understand what is ADHD. It's usually because the kids is lazy. I was not completely diagnosed until one of my kids were getting diagnosed, and I realized I was a textbook of ADHD. Long story short, I feel like once I start treating my ADHD, I start flourish in school. I'm good. I'm good in school. I'm good in nursing, and I wanted to make sure that I'm not the bottom, because all my life I was always the one struggling. For once I was shining. I'm shining into my field. I'm a great nurse. So yes, I wanted to know everything I can get for my money, especially after I'm taking time away from my kids. I lost my house because obviously I cannot pay for it. That was a lot of sacrifice. A lot.
So do I understand you that in order to finish your education, to get your associate degree in nursing, that you actually had to give up work, risk losing your house in order to go back to Florida and do it the right way?
Yes. At that time, I didn't even realize it was me doing it the right way. To me, was they're trying to screw me and take all that money and for me to start over. I only have 2 months left. I'm gonna struggle. I'm gonna tough it out. I'm gonna do it. That was the goal. Now I realize that technically, the person I thought hated me the most was actually helping me.
And then as I understand it, then subsequently you took the exit exam, obviously apparently passed it and got permission to move on to your Netflix. Is that correct? Okay. And during your time as a nurse, have you had any complaints filed against you for the work done as a nurse?
I mean, you'll hear family members saying, is complaining about, medication. Maybe that medication was giving 10 minutes late, then you have to re-educate, but nothing big that I did, like customer service. They might complain, that medication was not giving, or, you can never satisfy everybody, although our goal is to make sure that everybody's satisfied. So no complaint, but definitely here and there you might hear a complaint, about somebody's feel like, they were not being heard.
All right, but you didn't have any action taken against you by the Florida Board of Nursing or anything?
No.
I have no further questions.
Okay, Attorney Kataya, do you want to cross?
The department does not have any questions for cross-examination. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right. Board members, do you have any questions for Ms. Moreta?
Hi, this is Sal. How are you?
Hi, Dr. Diaz.
How are you?
I'm well. How
Hi.
are you doing?
Good, thanks. So I do have some questions for you, and I'm going to go back to the transcript.
Okay.
I don't know if if Attorney Kataya, you can pull up the transcript so she can see it, or thank you. Okay, so on this transcript, can you tell me what CW means on this transcript?
Do they give a code at the bottom of it? Do you have the bottom?
It does not have a code, so I was wondering what your understanding was of what CW was.
I don't
And-
know. I'm
Okay.
thinking at the bottom of the full transcript, there might be the code of the abbreviations. I'm not sure.
Okay. So near Nursing 101, Fundamentals of Nursing, it has CW next to it. Did you take this course at MedLife?
No.
The best of your, no.
To the best of my knowledge, I don't remember that.
Okay.
Because
Did you
I'm
take
looking
it at
at
another school?
yes.
What school did you take it at?
That had to be, I took it a couple of times. I took it in my LPN program, and I also took it in at HAC.
Now, HAC, is that an RN program at HAC?
Yeah, it was Harrisburg Area Community College.
Okay. So you believe that you took that fundamentals at HAC, but it doesn't
Yes.
show here that this was transferred in, right? Because we can agree the T's are transferred.
CEO transfer, yes.
Okay. Now, I know Attorney Kataya had mentioned course waiver. Do you know where she would have gotten that from, course waiver?
Oh no, is that
Okay.
because I don't know. I'm not
Okay,
sure.
no, that's great. I just want you to tell me what you remember. In your program outline from MetLife for the associate's degree in science, it says semester hours are 72. I believe this is on page 7, maybe further into And so at the top, it says 72 course hours right there. Thank you. 72 course hours. Are you familiar with this document?
No, sir.
Okay, so they never sat down and completed this document with you?
Probably did, but I do not recall.
Okay, no problem. And so when we look at the program outline, it says 72 hours, course semester hours. But unfortunately, on your transcript, it looks like you only got 69 credit course hours. Do you know why there was a difference to that?
I do not know.
Okay. All right. I have a couple more questions. I'm sorry. So you said from December to March, if I remember correctly, I want to make sure I got my notes right. From December to March, you were doing hybrid classes.
That's mid-December to March, yes.
Okay. And part of the hybrid classes were adult nursing,
I
2,
believe so.
and then you said pediatrics was another, I believe.
I believe so, yes.
And then what was the third one? Because you said 3, I thought.
I cannot remember which one.
Okay, no problem. So you repeated pediatrics when you went back to Florida because you had to do pediatric classroom and the clinical. Did I get that right? That's what you testified to?
Correct.
Okay. You did not repeat adult nursing 2, correct?
Adult nursing 2 was also clinical. So my only thing is with that, when I went back to Florida, like I said, they were very specific saying that I was not repeating, I was doing additional hours, but all the courses that I did in Jersey is the same thing that was coming up, maybe a little bit different, especially with the adult nursing that was coming up in the Canvas. Like I would go to the class just to do the Canvas, but it was the same. Like my exam, my two or three exam was the same exam.
Okay. So I just want to make sure I understand correctly. So when you just said adult nursing, you had to repeat, you went to Canvas to do the work on Canvas.
Right.
Did you go in front of a teacher for theory?
Yes, there's teachers there, and a lot of them was done pre-programmed things, courses that was in the Canvas. So the teacher will be there, and they'll tell you, they'll just do summary of the class, and then you go into Canvas. Technically, you do your own work in Canvas, and then they grade it based on that. Canvas, or there was another program. They had switched program in between. I forgot which one was it.
And so then that adult nursing practicum 2, you repeated and did in Florida. Is that what I'm understanding? Because you originally did it.
The practicum, the clinical.
Yes.
Okay, yes, that's definitely, those was part of my extra hours that I did in June and July and a couple of days in August before I took my exit.
And so do you remember June, July, and then some August? Do you remember how many days a week you went?
It depends on the facility. If the facility was a 12-hour shift for the employees, you'll do 3 days. If it was an 8-hour shift, you do 4 days.
Okay. And that's what you did for MedSurg?
MedSurg and PEDS was 8-hour shift because he was an outpatient. So we did 4 days there. I did 4 days there.
Okay. And did I understand you say that you did 12 months at the school? Or did I miswrite that?
Yeah, it was supposed to be 9 months. I was supposed to start in August, finishing May, I believe, and I ended up finishing in August.
Okay. All right. Hold on. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
On page 6, it looks like Exhibit 7 on page 6 of 13 of the whole packet, or 6 of the exhibit. It lists at the end, it says textbooks, resources online. And then it talks about video modules, virtual simulation, faculty support, teaching tools, testing and remediation, and curriculum organization tools.
Yes.
Do you remember these? Did you use all these tools in your class or for your classes?
If not, most of it, yes.
Okay, so which ones didn't you use?
I'm trying to look at the list that you just said.
Yeah, it's right here on
Can
the
you-
screen. I don't know if you can see it. It says video modules, virtual clinical simulation, faculty
Okay.
supported and
Okay,
teaching
I see
tools.
it. The video modules, there was a lot of them in Canvas.
Okay,
The virtual clinical simulation, I really do not know what it is because clinical was clinical. We had to go somewhere else. We had to go in person to do. Unless they were talking about when they give us those case study, lab
okay,
case study. Maybe that's what they call it.
okay,
There was teachers, there was doctors and nursing to help to teach us. There was remediation. If you do not pass, I know they did offer remediation. There was books that you had to buy, purchase.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. So I just need some clarification. I was a little confused. So I'm clear that December to March, you were in another state doing hybrid. But all other times you were in Florida or you were traveling back and forth? I'm just trying to
Was
understand that.
mainly in Florida. I was mainly in Florida. I did, and so I did schedule. I only leave Florida when I had, like, if I'm going, especially if I'm going to have a Monday's a holiday, I'll leave on Wednesday, right after school, and then I will come back on Monday night. A couple times I did leave Wednesday and come back late Sunday night. And I remember specifically one time I was supposed, I lost my flight. I ended up paying a $300 flight to get there on time on Monday morning just to have that clinic site cancel because whoever was precepting me that day call out. So that was so I remember all my frustration. I mean, I remember a lot of things, but I remember every time there was a frustration or a roadblock.
Okay. So on Department Exhibit 4, page 4, this I believe is your questionnaire that they asked you questions and that you answered. And on question 11, it says here, if you travel to Florida for part of your instruction, how often did you travel? And your response is roughly, I can count, I did 9 to 10 trips to Florida. What did you mean by that if you were already in Florida?
Counted every time I come up in the weekend, I have to go back to go to Florida. And and also when I was up here, I had to go to Florida for school. But roughly I would say I cannot tell you how many times I did the trip. Or the only thing I know is if I can find a very cheap flight round trip for $80, I will hop in the plane if I didn't have class.
Okay. And on question 14, it asks if you attend full-time or part-time. You answered full-time. How many hours a week was that for classroom? And how many hours a week was it for clinical on average that you can remember?
A good 40 hours plus.
Okay,
Because sometimes you'll have class in the morning, you have to go to the clinical site to get information so you can have your care plan ready. So the next day you can go do your clinical. So even though he's not in class, but you still after class, you still have to go and get that information to prep your care plan so you can be ready the next day.
okay. So when you in that December to March, can you tell me what state that was? Is that Pennsylvania? Did I get that right? Were you living in Pennsylvania?
But he was in Jersey. The clinicals was in Jersey.
So you traveled from Pennsylvania to New Jersey to do your clinicals during that time?
Yeah, it's across the bridge, less than
Okay.
10 minutes.
So that's where on page exhibit 4, page 6, you list in Genesis Nursing Home in New Jersey and Princeton Hospital in New Jersey as where you completed clinical hours. And so you completed them in New Jersey, and then what were they for? What classes was the Genesis Nursing Home associated with?
Geriatric, med surge.
Okay.
Oh.
And then what, and Princeton Hospital?
It was a cardiac floor.
Okay,
It was a cardiac floor, and I also did oh no, that wasn't there. It was cardiac. When I went to Naples, that's when I went to the cath lab.
okay. So for those two courses, clinicals, they were associated with adult med surg too?
I want to say yes. I'm not sure
Okay.
off my head.
And do you remember where you did clinical for adult med surg 1?
Um, It was in Florida. The
Do you
first one was in
remember?
Florida. Yes, it was is it Colonial Place? It was in Fort Myers.
Okay, so here you write the Children's Hospital in Fort Myers. So
That
that's
was
where you did,
peds.
that was peds.
Yes.
And was there, because I'm not from Fort Myers, so
Mhm.
are you saying there was another hospital in Colonial Fort Myers that was an adult hospital?
Naples Medical Center is adult
Naples
hospital.
Medical. Okay. Thank you. So when you came back to Florida and they told you you had to repeat the adult 2 courses and pediatric courses, you went to did you go I'm assuming this is what you when you wrote here the Children's Hospital is in Florida that you took for pediatrics, is that correct?
The children outpatient, yes.
When you did med surg 2, what was the hospital or location in Florida that you did clinical?
I did Naples Medical Center. I did Westchester. That's a rehab. I did
Is Westchester in Naples?
what Westchester is in Plantation. That's the one that I had to add. I said I had to stay with my sister-in-law.
Okay.
Oh, I'm just looking at the list that you guys have sent me because I think I wrote them in here. I did Windsor, all children, and There was another one. I cannot remember the name. It was a nursing home in Fort Myers.
Okay. Nursing home in Fort Myers.
Yes.
So, when you talk to the board of nursing, or when you went to school, were you aware that MedLife was an approved 74 semester hour program?
No.
I'm
Was I
sorry.
aware? I'm sorry, say that again.
Yeah.
If I was aware,
When you first started the MetLife program
okay,
in Naples, were
okay.
you aware that the Board of Nursing in Florida approved that to be a 74 semester hour program?
No.
Okay.
I just know that the list that they had gave me when like I said, I got the information how they do it. I called the Board of Education to make sure that he was a certified school. Since he was a nursing school, I called the Board of Nursing, and everybody told me that they were good to go.
Okay. In Department Exhibit 6, and this is the affidavit from Clofantals. I'm tennis. I'm sorry. I'm terrible with names. And so it was the affidavit. It was Exhibit 6, page 1 of 2. Do you know why potentially in the 4th paragraph down, 1, 2, 3, 4, she would write the nursing program is a 22-month program?
I never met that person. Like I said, when I was going there, the person that presented themselves as with that title was Dr. Lumiere Pierre. He's the one that came in. He said he's a physician and that he is the CEO president. They are not the same school. And that was, like I said, that was the one thing he was emphasizing, that Naples is not the same as West Palm Beach. They are separated. So I don't even know that person.
Yeah, I believe this person is from the State Board of Florida. She's writing
Okay.
that, and I'm
know.
just wondering if you would know why she would put that in her affidavit.
I do not know.
Okay. I think I tried to highlight all my questions so I wouldn't waste anybody's time. I think I'm good. Thank you so much for answering my questions.
Thank you. Okay, this is Gina speaking. I have a couple questions for clarification purposes. And then obviously Cindy has some questions, and then we'll go back to Attorney Brown if he wants to ask any questions, cross or whatever. Okay, so I don't know if anybody could do this because I can't, but could somebody put up the official transcript for me? Anybody? Can anybody do that? Okay, so I believe, just to clear, this is purely for clarification now, that my Dr. Diaz, Dr. Diaz mentioned that the number of credits on the transcript was 69. So I just wanted for clarification purposes, I counted that there's 24 courses on the transcript. Don't forget the one on the right on the bottom. And they're all 3 credits.
Correct. So that the first, in theory, it looks like she had 48 credits in theory and 21 credits in clinical/lab.
Okay.
So 24 and 24 for the 2 theory columns, and under the clinical lab, total of 21 when you add the 2 columns together.
So I'm still not following. So I'm just
So
saying
48 and 21 equals 69. right? I was just
Right.
asking if she knew
Well,
that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
okay, but if you add them, just for clarification, if you add up all the credits, there's 24 courses written on this transcript times 3, 24 times 3. But if we divide them out, that's a different story. I'd have to review that again. But there's 24 courses times 3
Well, 72.
equals 72, right? I mean,
Yeah.
That's what I get also. This is Cindy.
okay, Cindy, you get the same thing? 'Cause
Yeah.
I see 72 on here. I don't know if the school, I mean, if I missed something that I was reading, they divide
you
it
for
up.
the-
You have to have so many
Okay.
in theory and you have to have so many in clinical. That's a different story. And I apologize to the hearing and to this board. But I just want to say there's 24 courses. I put numbers on them. Times 3 is 72.
Okay,
Okay. Again, not saying they have to divide out into how many, maybe there's something written somewhere that I missed, so many in theory or so many in clinical, but the total is 72. And then if you look on the sheet of the program outline, and this is all for clarification, I'm not saying anything else, it's all fact. Program outline for associates in science. It's my colleague, with all due respect, Dr. Diaz, all due respect, mentioned semester hours of 74, but on that sheet, it says 72. So 72 equals 72. Again, just looking at, always just looking at fact. So just want to clarify that before we
so
continue.
74 is what the state approved them for,
Okay, but on this outline, it
which
says,
is in the exhibits, but yes, 72.
yeah, 72 is on the program outline and 72
Okay.
is on the transcript. I'm not saying anything else. I'm just facts.
Yes.
not
I think
green.
maybe
You follow?
I might have confused the number. It's 74 where the MedLife is saying that
Right.
they're approved, the state is stating they're approved for 74.
Okay.
And
All
I
right,
was
just
just
wanted-
curious where that came from.
Okay. Yeah. Just wanted to know that the transcript matches the program outline in the number. I'm not saying anything else. I'm not bringing up anything else. That was it's a little,
So
it's a-
technically, sorry, can I say something?
well, I basically was just clarifying all of this. I actually have no other questions, but just wanted to put that out there with regard to the transcript and the program outline, so that was, what I saw of that. Okay, Cindy,
Can-
do you have any other questions, Cindy,
I just-
for
Just
Ms.
one
Moreta?
clarifying, because you, Sal, you did great. You asked all my things.
Yeah.
I was checking them off as you went. But Sal, you said that they were approved for 74 credits, and I just want to know 74 semester hours. I just want to know where you got that from, because the affidavit from Cleofat Tanis
Hmm.
does state 72. And I mean, if they were short hours, I want to be clear.
Hi, this is Aidenbaum. I hate to break in. I don't like
Yep.
interrupting deliberations. This is more of a time for questioning the witness
Yeah.
rather than
Yeah.
discussions.
Than
with-
each other. Okay.
All right. All right. Okay, do you have any questions, Dr. Arpin, Cynthia, Cindy, sorry.
All my
for
various
Miss-
names.
Various
No,
names
I do
for-
not. I do not have
Okay.
any more
All
questions.
right, and I don't, again, I'll just repeat that I don't have any questions. I think Dr. Diaz answered my questions and I threw in some clarification. Okay. Now, Attorney Brown, or should I go back to Attorney Kataya? Do you want to cross on anything that was said with regard to the board's questioning?
No, the department does not have any additional questions at this time.
Are you resting at this point?
Yes, the department rests its case. Thank you.
Okay, Attorney Brown, do you have any questions with regard to cross based on the board members' discussion with Ms. Moreta?
I have no further questions.
No further questions. Okay, all right. So we will go into fact finding at this point.
Excuse me.
But
excuse me,
before we do that, we'll do closing statements.
Excuse me, I think with all due respect, I'm supposed to
Yes.
be asked whether I have any additional evidence or any evidence at all.
My apologies. Yes, my apologies. Any additional evidence, any additional witnesses that you would like to call?
No, I don't.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. All right. So at this point in time, we'll take closing arguments. All right. I will ask the department to make their closing arguments and then Attorney Brown.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So we have now all had an opportunity to review the evidence that's on file with the department as to Ms. Moreta's educational qualifications, and we have heard her testimony trying to fill in gaps as to where and when she took certain courses. It is the department's position that any coursework that she took out of state or online would not have qualified her for the transcript and degree that she received, as it was not part of the approved program. The department respectfully defers to your fact finding as to whether her testimony establishes that she did in fact complete sufficient hours and coursework in the state of Florida to remedy the coursework and clinicals that were done improperly in the state of New Jersey. And again, if you find that the evidence does not support that she did in fact complete those clinicals and coursework in Florida as appropriate with the approved program, that you revoke her nursing license here in Connecticut as she no longer meets the qualifications for that nursing license. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Attorney Kataya. Attorney Brown, if you'd like to make your closing statement.
Yes, I won't rehash everything. It's been a long morning and your memories are good, I'm sure, but I do want to refer to the chairperson's comments at the beginning, which were that the burden of proof is not upon my client, the respondent, to show that she's overcome these charges, but rather the burden is upon the department to show that somehow my client, in fact, does not deserve to continue to have her license because of the fact that she failed to meet certain requirements. We're not in dispute as to what those requirements are. And the chairperson indicated that really the test comes down to, is it more probable than not? Meaning that the facts, as you can articulate them, give you a certain sense of certainty that somehow or other she did not present she did not present sufficient documentation somehow to the department, who had to evaluate whether or not this person qualified or didn't qualify for an associate degree in nursing. I believe from listening to my client that her testimony is very credible. As indicated, may or may not be aware, but I've certainly had other clients that have come to me on who had suffered having to gone to the school, whether it be this particular school or Palm Beach or whatever. And truthfully, they did not qualify. And unfortunately, the board was compelled to terminate their license. And I'm submitting that in this particular case, notwithstanding the efforts made by the department, that there is insufficient evidence to overcome what would be a very serious consequential event for my client to deprive her of her license. And I believe the evidence shows that, in fact, she has, in fact, take the various courses required, went out of her way to take not only the courses, but the clinicals, to the extent of running the risk of forfeiting her own house because she had to give that up. She had to work full-time at the education and not full-time earning money. And it is clear that nursing is her passion. She loves it. She wants and has extended herself beyond just the associate degree, but we're here focusing on the associate degree. And the fact that she even went so far as to contact the board, the nursing board in Florida, should tell you, I believe, how honest she was about this, how sincere she was. She was obviously not attempting to hide anything, because if anything, she was drawing attention to herself. And it is clear that whoever it was at MedLife on that particular time back in 2016, I don't know what happened afterwards with MedLife, but it's clear that that person felt, for whatever reason, that what she had done in New Jersey was insufficient. And instead of taking the easy way out, just allowing her to take the exam, compelled her not only spend additional money, but more importantly, spend additional time. And that's why this is somewhat, I submit respectfully, a unique situation where the board can consider the fact that even MedLife itself demanded that she retake courses that she had taken in New York. And she did. And while there might be some I don't know what the right word is, clarification on some of the courses, again, the burden is upon the department to show that whatever courses she took wasn't sufficient. And I don't think there's, quite frankly, any evidence to show that. The transcript itself shows the sufficient number of credits and that she passed it. And I think she had like a 3.29 or something like that, grade average, good student. Obviously, one keenly interested, as she testified to, learning, not just going through the motions, but actually wanted to be a nurse through proper education, and did so. And my only fear is that the nursing board, with all due respect, lump her in with all of the others. It'd be easy to do, because I think the department's batting 1,000 or close to it %, better than any baseball player, and having, and I'm sure they don't take any pleasure in it, but having the nursing board revoke the licenses of these individuals, irrespective of whether or not they subsequently did or didn't do a good job as a nurse. I believe, and my fear is that somehow or other there's guilt by association in this case. I believe my client is unique and different because she did take it upon herself. She didn't quit when she was down, and she worked very hard, and she played it the right way and did it the right way, even though she didn't understand at the time as to why she needed to take these courses. The fact is, she did take it. So in summation, I submit that while the department, through a skilled attorney, did the best job they could, the fact of the matter is that they fell short in satisfying the board that you can honestly state that by a preponderance of the evidence, the respondent's license should be taken from her. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So at this point in time, we will go to fact finding. All right. Remembering that this will be eventually a proposed memorandum of decision that goes to the board proper, so to speak, if I may put it that way, and voted on at that point in time. So I ask, who would like to do fact finding?
I see Sal smiling. Do you want to do it,
Right.
Sal?
Yes.
No.
I'm not very good at it, so that's why I'll help, but I'm better at somebody else doing it.
I'd be happy to do it if you want.
Yeah. Okay, I will do it. So in the case of Shirley M. Moreta, petition number 2025-292, statement of charges pursuant to Connecticut General Statutes 19A-10 and 19A-14, the Department of Public Health brings the following charges against Shirley M. Moreta. So in comparing these with the answer to the statement of charges, and Attorney Baum, tell me if you want me to actually read each statement or if I can just refer to them.
You just refer to them. There's no need to go over them verbatim.
Okay. So paragraphs, I don't know why they're 10 and 11, not 1 and 2, but they are. So paragraphs 10, 11, and 12 are admitted. Paragraph 13 is, it says it is admitted insofar as MedLife Institute Naples, Florida is the balance. I believe that's what it's saying. So can I take that as admitted?
I think it's just admitting that, let me take a look at it. So far as MedLife Institute Naples, Florida, and then the balance is denied. So it's admitting that she attested that she received her nursing education from yeah, I don't see any other balance that would not be admitted there.
Right. So I'm going to say through the documents and the testimony, we're going to admit that one, and through most of what it appears the respondent has responded with.
Yeah.
For paragraph 14, that is denied. And that one I will read is respondent has not completed the required program hours and clinical training necessary to obtain either a diploma and transcript from an approved nursing licensure, pre-licensure program, or nursing associate degree and transcript. For that one, and I'm a little surprised to hear myself say this, I do not believe that we can admit that. I do not believe that. I think this is it. I guess I'll just say that and then we'll discuss it afterwards, right? I'll just go through.
Yeah.
So
let's go
that
through
one continues with denied. Paragraph 15 is admitted in that she persists in claiming that she has completed the required program hours and clinical training and that she graduated from a pre-licensure nursing program. The balance of the allegations is denied. Required to graduate. Okay, so up until she says she completed it, but the charges are saying she did not complete it, then that's the part that she denies. And I will uphold that as presented by the respondent, and we'll admit the beginning part, but stating that she did not complete programs, I do not believe, I will say I will deny that. I think the department did not prove that she did not complete the requirements, and we'll talk about that when we have our discussion. And then paragraph 17, she denied, and I will also deny that one and then bring that to our discussion. So based on that, I will say we will admit for 10, 11, 12, 13, 16 up until it says that that did not meet the requirements, and that part is denied. And then we will deny paragraph 14, 15, that last portion of 16 and 17. And I make a motion for these findings.
Okay, may I have a second to that motion?
I'll second.
Okay,
This
all
is
right.
Sal.
Yeah, okay. And I'll take a vote on that motion. Cindy?
Well, can we
We're
discuss
gonna
it
have
first?
discussion.
Yeah, let's discuss it first. Okay,
Okay.
my apologies.
So
Okay.
just in going back to this, I do like, we've all been working with nightingales. I've been
Yeah.
pretty hard staunched about nightingales. After listening to the testimony, reviewing the documents, I do feel that this case is different. I feel that the courses, the testimony of the respondent, that the courses that were taken inappropriately, for lack of a better word, were in fact made up for in Florida. Is my findings on this, again, my 2 cents. On the transcript, I do believe it was 72 hours. My nurse educator hat, which I told I'm allowed to wear, that's why I'm here. I think some of the courses that we see a CW for a course waiver, this was an LPN. She was in an associate degree program, but she was an LPN doing a bridge. I run an associate degree program with an LPN bridge program, and we give credit, 12 credits, in fact, in the state of Connecticut for LPNs as they go into their RN program, and the course waivers equal 12 credits. So just in comparing it, and I know I'm comparing Connecticut to Florida, but I'm using some of my expertise to say it makes sense to me. And then the transfer credits, most LPN programs that I'm familiar with don't actually have college credit per se. So a lot of times they don't have transfer credits in addition to those 12 credits. But she did, in fact, take some college credits and actually had credit, not just an LPN certificate program. And I think that's reflected on the transcript as well. So with that, I will leave that for other comments.
This is Gina speaking. I totally concur with my colleague, Cindy Arpin, Dr. Arpin. This is a different type of case. This is a different type of case. We've been doing this for years. I don't know how many years, and how many cases, but my true expertise, I am also an academic educator for a number of years. And the testimony, the transcript, and even talking momentarily about this affidavit. I just want to throw this in, but I am concurring with Dr. Arpin that this is different and that she has completed the necessary requirements for the state of Connecticut. Okay, but even want to throw this in so it's on record that according to the program outlined, I'm just reading it for the Associate of Science Nursing Program. The nursing program is a 22-month program that meets the requirements of the Florida Board of Nursing and focus on the general education and beginning technical skills. This is an affidavit by Tanis, I believe the last name is. But if you take into consideration, they're saying 22 months, but it's all what they're saying is the general education piece of it. So if she took those other courses that they transferred in, that could have taken months to take. So I was adding that all up, and that also gave me, in my expertise, a sense of the what's the word I want? Appropriateness, a sense of it matching up. I'm probably not saying the right word, but matching up. So this is a different case, and I feel that she should continue with her associates and no revocation, and that we dismiss or whatever we do, dismiss these charges. We bring it to the board. Obviously, we can't dismiss it here, but this is a proposed memorandum of decision. But I strongly feel about this. I have tons of notes here, but I think I've said enough. That's my take.
Yes, and oh, I'm off mute. Okay.
Oh, yeah,
Yes,
you.
I do agree. And Cindy, I'm happy you talked about CW, because that was the only thing that was making me a little uncomfortable, was that CW, and I didn't know what it really meant. And then when you explained it, I was like, oh yeah, that's right. So
That's
I
my
appreciate-
interpretation, but it fits.
Yes, I hear you.
Yeah.
I agree with your interpretation. I forgot that part. And so I agree with your interpretation. I do find the witness, Miss Moreta, very credible. So I believe what she's telling us. And so she spent a lot of time in making sure she gets her education. I was just, I was asking the questions because of the inconsistencies. in this, but sometimes people type things up wrong, so or it's not the right thing. So I agree with my colleagues that this is not a Nightingale, typical, I guess, Nightingale case where she did complete her education with MedLife in Florida for both didactic and clinical.
I will just add that I think the reason that you did make this up in Florida, based on your testimony, is, as you referred to it, as your mouth. So kudos to you for advocating for yourself.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Nurses need to have a mouth.
Yes, and for the longest, I thought that lady just hated me for making me do extra things and holding me back. She was my angel.
Okay, so at this point in time, I will take a vote on this motion that was made. We have a second already, right? We have a second. Just remind me already. All right, so Cindy, your vote?
Aye.
Okay, Sal, your vote?
Aye.
And I, Gina Reiner, say aye. All right. And so, Ms. Moreta, what will happen, just so you understand, I don't need to really read this script, but what will happen is that a proposed memorandum of decision, basically, I think you understand, if you don't just say something, and also your attorney, Brown, can also explain more to you, will be presented to the board, all of us, like there's 9 of us, the board, okay, this is a hearing. And we will present that to them. That will be voted on, and we will go from there. But what happened today, so you understand, is that we are basically not looking to revoke probation, anything of that nature, but for you to continue on and have your RN license and go forth. Okay, probably not putting that too eloquently, but that's the procedure. So this will, I don't know the timing of any of that when it goes to the board, this memorandum of decision, but whenever the department in a timely fashion, hopefully, will get that to the board. Okay. Any questions? I usually don't take questions, but anything else I can clarify at this point? Attorney Brown, any questions from you?
No, I just want to thank you and the department for presenting it in the manner in which it was presented. Thank you.
If I may, just as a matter of procedure,
Sure.
the respondent was summarily suspended in connection with the statement of charges. I would like some clarification as to whether that is vacated now or if that has to wait until the memorandum of decision, because if the intent is not to revoke her license, then I won't comment about whether it's appropriate to keep her on suspension or not, but I imagine that it would be appropriate to have that addressed sooner rather than later.
Yeah, so she was summarily suspended, and that suspension stands until lifted by the full board. The board will have an opportunity to do that once they see the proposed memorandum of decision. Hopefully, we can get that to them sooner rather than later.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Attorney Kataya. That was a very good question, an important question for all of us to understand. And thank you, Attorney Bond, for explaining it. Most appreciated. All right, at this point in time, we will adjourn this meeting. I've done a few of these P&Ls, I have, but I'm not remembering protocol. If I need do I need a vote to adjourn on this, or can we just close?
You could just
I think we just close, right? Yeah, okay. My apologies to the board for not remembering that. Thank you very much, everyone, and have a good rest of the day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Have a good day.
Okay. All right.
too.
Bye-bye
Thank
now.
you.
Best wishes.